Welcome back to the live morning show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. We are honored to have Adrienne Copland with us this morning. Adrienne, a board member with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is part of the Davenport Auto Park monthly series that looks at private nonprofits in the area that are making a difference in people's lives. And I'll have to admit, I did not know what Sleep in Heavenly Peace was before Adrienne agreed to come on, but I have learned a lot about it, and it is a tremendous story. Let's start with a 10,000-foot overview. Tell us a little bit about what Sleep in Heavenly Peace is and what its mission is.
Basically, we build beds for kids that don't have one. It's not really a known problem, but there are several kids in our community who sleep on the floor. And it's something that we take for granted, having a bed. So what we do is 100% volunteer. We build beds from scratch from the lumber, and we get donated or purchased linens and mattresses, comforters, pillows, and we give them for free to kids who do not have one.
Now, we were talking off air. This is not just a local problem. This is not just a national situation. You said this is an international organization.
It is an international organization. It started off national, but there are international chapters now. So we do have an overarching, parent company, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. It's all nonprofit, and there's several chapters. So our Rocky Mount chapter covers the Twin Counties. So we have Nash and Edgecombe, but then we do have a subchapter, which is for Halifax County, just started. There's also one in Wilson. There's also one in Greenville. So it is growing to address that need. That is everywhere, really.
And let's talk a little bit about that. I want to make sure that our viewers understand. So the problem that you are addressing is that there are children who are in a home, not an institution, but are living somewhere, that do not have a bed. They are sleeping on the floor. They're sleeping on mats or straight on the floor. Is that correct?
Yeah, they are. They're either everyone's doubled up, bunched up in one bed together. Sometimes we see them when they're just blankets on the floor. Sometimes it's a blow-up mattress. Sometimes it's literally on the floor on nothing. So these kids they really have nothing, and so that's what we're addressing. And it's a need that stems from several different issues.
Okay.
It's a subset of homelessness. We would think of someone who's homeless or a family, and they get into a space, they get a roof over their head, but then what? That's what's forgotten, is they don't have any furniture, they don't have any beds, and a lot of times it's the last thing that gets addressed is the kids' beds, because you need a couch, you need pots and pans, you need things like that. So it also comes from issues where maybe there's a domestic violence situation where a family is fleeing an unsafe situation. It can be where there's an illness in the family, where someone loses their job. It can be someone is injured, and they can't work anymore. There's several reasons that contribute to this problem. And so that's what we're doing, is trying to address those kids, find them, and give them a place so they can have a good night's rest.
And let's delve a little deeper into what you've just said. For whatever reason, someone has experienced instability in their housing. Mm-hmm. They've had to move. They're in a place that is new to them. Food, clothing, mm-hmm. shelter, the basic needs that someone needs to mm-hmm. deal with. We can look at where those situations would be addressed by other organizations.
That awareness is out there.
That awareness is out there. But once they're in the house, they have food to eat, they have clothing, they have a roof over their head. Mm-hmm. Now the necessities turn to, well, how are you going to live in the place that you're in?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that one of the things that, I won't say it falls through the cracks, but there's not the place that Sleep in Heavenly Peace has come in,
right.
is to say we want to make sure that every child has a bed to sleep in. Is that correct?
It is, and every child has a good night's rest. We talk about getting a roof over your head, getting a good family home life, but what about thriving there? So that's what's missed. That's what we all take for granted. I had personally never even heard of this issue until I got involved with the organization, and I was shocked, and it really drove me to give every free moment that I can to this organization.
And that's something that made me stop to think about what I think there is a relationship, but how much better would we have student achievement be? Would we have student behavior be? Would all of those things just in the school setting be if we knew that every child had the opportunity to have a good night's rest,
right.
to get up and get on the bus and go to school in the morning.
And pay attention. Test scores would improve, knowledge retention would improve. Every doctor would tell you, a good night's sleep is the key to everyone's health.
And I would say we see that in adults, so why would we not see that in children?
It's so much more important in children.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about what the need is here in the Twin Counties. What has been the experience? How many beds have you placed? What are we looking at here?
Well, what we find is that the need, it's a percentage of population with statistics of homelessness and what people don't have beds, and then we look at the amount of applications that we receive. But roughly what we've estimated in the Twin Counties is, Nash and Edgecombe counties, there's roughly about between 400 and 600 new cases who don't have beds every year for whatever reasons. Maybe it's the domestic violence. Maybe there's we see cases where there's, maybe an area got bed bugs and everything had to be thrown out. And so now they don't have a bed anymore. So that's the need that consistently comes new every year, on top of the ones that, we can't get to. So that they're just never get a bed. And so we've been around about 4 years now, and we are on track to deliver our 1,000th bed this fall. We are so excited about it, and but we are ramping up, and we're on track to build about another 600 beds this year, and we've gotten some very fortunate influx of some grant money, to help us with community build days, so that we can have big build days coming in, building these beds, and then that's what it really is about, tackling getting this over the hump, because we want to get all the kids off the floor. And so good special thank you to the Chrissy and Rob Family Foundation, Chrissy and Rob Barnhill Family Foundation. They gave us a grant so we can help have more community build days.
Let's go back to one of the causes that you just spoke about. Let's just take domestic violence for a moment. Husband or wife says, this situation is untenable. I need to take my children and get out today. We know where they can go. We've had those people on the show before, and we know the great job that those organizations do to help someone relocate and replace themselves after that. But once they get in the house, that's where you come in, because they may be in a place that's not furnished or partially furnished, that doesn't have a bed for the children to sleep in, or multiple beds for the children to sleep in. That's where you're coming in to say, in a situation like that, we're going to round everything out. We're going to help them get back to being as normal as quickly as possible.
And I've definitely seen that, where I've delivered beds and it was an entirely empty apartment. There was nothing but one blow-up mattress and one sheet on the bed. They had no TV, no couch, nothing. And so we were the first thing in there, is those beds for those kids. And I mean, it is so heartwarming to go in there on these deliveries and see these kids. And many of them, this is the first bed they've ever had of their own. Never had their own bed. They're always doubling up. They're always on the floor. They're always crowded together.
And that's the goal. One of the goals of Sleeping Heavily Peace is to make sure that you don't have siblings sleeping together. That everybody has their own bed. Or
they're all in with mom and dad in one bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do bunk beds as well?
We do. All of our beds are designed so that if they need to be bunked, they can be. So, and it just depends on the shape, the space of, sometimes there's not room for two beds side by side, and we will bunk them so we can make that work.
So interesting. I'm just thinking about college, where people have had their own bed themselves. They go to college, and the first thing they want to do is have bunk beds.
That's the first thing they want to do. Yeah, the kids love the bunk beds. Yeah.
How did you get involved?
So, it was about 4 years ago, and they were having a community build day at Lowe's right here in Rocky Mount. And I saw it on Facebook, and it said, come out if, we're doing building beds, and I like building things. I'm good working with wood and tools. And so I said, yeah, I'll show up. And wow, I was floored that there was a need for kids sleeping on the floor. And so I did it, and it was so rewarding to know. I mean, I always say there's no greater feeling than a hard day's work helping those in need. So after that, I was hooked on it, and now, I mean, every event, everything that we have, I'm there, I'm involved.
Is Lowe's one of the partners?
Lowe's is a big sponsor of ours. We are coming up. They will have a big promotional time where you can, like a portion of at the checkout register, you can add and donate. And I think it's going to be coming up in August or September, where you can purchase wood and it will be cost, and it will come to us.
Okay.
So that's a way that you can help out.
Do you actually get to, as a volunteer, do you actually get to interact with the children when they get the bed? Or
yes, we do. Yeah, if you're on a delivery team, and I will take delivery teams out. We take the headboards and the footboards, the side rails, the mattress, everything, and we bring it into the house, assemble it on site. And many times the kids are there, and they're so excited, and we have to say, oh, stay out of the way, we don't want you to get hurt. But then when it's a big reveal, and they come in, and their eyes light up, and they are so excited, and they just run, and the first thing they do is get in those beds, and, everybody
probably jump up
cheers,
and
they
down,
jump
so.
up and down, and then if your mama says okay, jump on the bed. I mean, it is so heartwarming. These kids are so excited. You just haven't seen joy till you see their faces.
And Adrienne, it's not just the bed frame. It is the bed frame, the mattress, sheets, pillowcases, pillows,
It is
everything.
Everything. What I like to say is everything except pajamas. So we've got the bed, the mattress, your linens, your pillow, your comforter. Everything is there and ready to go.
Who and where are you getting the other things from? If for example, Lowe's is one of the places that the lumber is coming from, how about the mattress? How about the pillows, the sheets, the bed?
We
all
do
that?
have other lumber donation partners that
Okay.
we will get from, but we can purchase mattresses, and we can find deals, and we can purchase all of our linens and pillows. But we take donations. Everything's got to be new, unused. It's wrapped, but you can donate. Twin size bedding, pillows, and linen sheet sets, and we have drop off sites at Davenport Auto Park, and also SECU, the State Employees Credit Union on Benvenue Road here in
Okay.
town. They have a drop off site. You can drop that off. We also have a Amazon wish list that you
Okay.
can search for us. You can search Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, under wish list, and you should find our wish list, and you can just click on it. It's easy, and it'll send it right out. It's really a great way, but that's what we do. That's the easiest thing for people if they want to send us something. They say, I will get you some pillows, or if you can find me, you can find our founder for our local chapter and drop something off with us.
What age children are you building beds for?
We build beds for kids that are 3 to 17.
Younger than 3, they're usually in
That's going to be a smaller toddler size bed. There's
Yes.
different regulations for children, for infants beds, so we don't do those.
Are you building the same size bed for someone 3 to age 17?
It's the same size.
Okay.
It's a twin size bed, and like I said, you can bunk it, but yeah, it's the same bed. So it can stay with that child. If a 3-year-old gets one, it can stay with them. They're well built through 18 and older.
I was going to say, that's the sort of thing, a twin bed like that could go with them even once they leave the home, if they're going out to have their own apartment or that.
If they want to
taking
move
the
it
bed
with them, yes, absolutely they can. And that's the great thing I think about this organization is there's many where you have to re-up funds, every year for staff, because, or like if you are feeding the homeless, once they eat a meal, a couple hours they're hungry again. With this, you give them a bed and it is there with them.
If anything that we've talked about today has sparked any interest in our viewers, how can they become involved? How can they find out more information about Sleep in Heavenly
What we
Peace?
really need is hands. We need people showing up to help us. And so we have community build days. We have one on September 23rd coming up. The Rotary Club is hosting a build day. And then we're going to have a big one in the first half of November where we're trying to do 300 to 400 beds that we are building for our Operation Sleigh Bells.
And that would be building beds at a central location,
At a central
which
location.
the beds then will be delivered
Yes,
to
and
where
then
they're
we will
needed.
be delivered because we like to have, clear out all of our applications for all the kids to have a bed by Christmas morning. But so that's what we need to do. But the easiest way is to follow us on Facebook, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Rocky Mount. Find us on Facebook. We will post all of our events, all of our build days, every way that you can help out will be on there. And also our website is shpbeds.org, and you can drill down and find and search for Rocky Mount, and all of our events will be posted there.
You may have already thought of this, but if you would, make sure that you send a community service notice to us so that we can announce them on a regular basis for your build days and for the Rotary Club and
Yeah.
the thing in November too. We'll be glad to put that on. Does someone have to be handy with tools to come to the build day?
No. We have kids coming showing up, or we will teach you how to do stuff. Yeah, you don't have to have any knowledge whatsoever, because sometimes we just need people picking up this piece of wood from this station and and then moving it, taking it over here. So it's as simple as if you're very skilled, you can operate a saw or a drill, or I can teach you how to operate the drills. Or if you just want to help out, we have some people say, hey, can I just show up and pass out waters? Well, that's fine too.
Last question. If someone says, I'm not sure that having a hands-on approach is what is right for me, but I'd like to make a financial contribution. How can they do that? And is there a cost or a kind of a cumulative cost if somebody said, I want to donate money to make sure I build a bed or bed can be built? Is that possible?
It is possible. The total cost of a bed depends on the cost of materials. The mattresses is the biggest fluctuation, but it's roughly $200. We'll build one whole bed. It'll be all the supplies that we need. So every $200 is about one whole bed.
Okay.
So sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And if you want to just write a check, you can. You can write a check to Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and then in the memo just write Rocky Mount, and you can mail it to us. I can give you the address. It is 5978 Cary Lee Road, Careylee, Cary Lee Road in Nashville, and that zip is 27856.
And again, on the community service notices that you send us, make sure we have that address as
I
well,
will
too.
certainly do that, yeah.
If you had one thing you wanted to leave our viewers with, what would that be?
Well, two things. First
Two
off,
things.
if you are in need of a bed, if your family needs a bed, all you have to do is go to shpbeds.org, shpbeds.org, and search, and you can fill out an application. The other thing I wanted everybody to know is, come help us. We need hands.
Need hands.
That is our biggest thing, that we need hands to help us build these and deliver these beds.
Adrienne, thank you.
Thank you
It's
so much.
always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you, and thank all the people that are working with Sleep in Heavenly Peace for what you're doing. This is not something that I think a lot of people realize there is a need for beds for kids to
There
sleep
is.
in. You're truly feeling a need with that point. It's
Thank
a shame.
you.
It's a shame that it's needed. Thank goodness that you're there to take care of it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Come back and visit us
Appreciate
again
it.
sometime.
Sure will. Thanks.
Adrienne Copland with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, board member. We're going to step aside right now for these commercial messages. When we come back, Fred will have our last look at weather. Wayne and I will wrap things up. You're watching the live morning show presented by Don Blue Chevrolet, and we'll be right back.